Imagine for a moment, just a second, that you could step into a space where you can always shape the outcomes you desire, no matter the situation. It's not just about what you're doing, it's about who you're being, who you are in that moment. See, you can begin to realize the persona that you project, the one you craft with intention. It's like a magnet. It draws people in, creates a natural, effortless attraction, because it resonates deeply with their needs, their desires, their stories. And here's the thing, proactivity, it's not just a buzzword, it's the foundation of influence. When you're proactive, you're leading the dance of interaction before the music even begins. You're thinking ahead, anticipating the needs of the moment, understanding the currents of energy before they even rise. You can almost see the flow before the wave crashes, can't you? It's about being in control, about becoming a master of social dynamics, creating affinity, and identifying not just with people, but for them. Your ability to step into the emotional appeal is a tool, a key to unlocking understanding, connection, and influence. The more you practice this, the more you live in the mindset of the strategist, someone who's always ahead of the curve, guiding the interaction with ease and with confidence. What you've learned so far, it's not about just knowing techniques, it's about integrating them, about becoming the techniques. You begin to mold yourself, create a character, a persona that's magnetic, captivating, a persona that can shift and adapt depending on the situation. Who do you need to be in that moment to influence that person, to create the impact that you desire? You're not just reacting, you're responding, choosing to rise to the occasion, to be the legend that others are drawn to. Now, let's step back for a moment and see this from a broader lens. Notice how power dynamics are at play everywhere. Those subtle shifts, the way people create influence. Some use these techniques to manipulate, to pull others into their web. But what if you could use them for good, for positive change? The same skills that can be used to deceive and control can also be used to uplift, to help, to create deeper, more meaningful connections. You get to decide where you want to take this, whether it's for the benefit of others or solely for yourself. Every moment it's an opportunity to practice. You don't have to wait for the perfect scenario. With techniques like echoing, where you reflect someone's energy back to them, you can start small right now. Every interaction becomes a moment for you to grow. Every conversation, every glance becomes a practice ground, a place for you to hone your skills, to perfect the art of influence. It's about little victories, the ones that build momentum, one after another. And you know, practice can sometimes feel like repetition. It can feel like the same thing over and over again. But that's where the magic happens. As you continue, as you refine your skills, the difference becomes clear. Every repetition becomes more effortless. Every technique becomes second nature. And you start to feel the rhythm, the pulse of influence. And with each practice, your results become more powerful. Have you noticed the way people dress, how they express themselves, whether in bold colours, drawing attention, or quietly blending in? Every choice, every action that they take is part of their persona. You can begin to notice these patterns, whether someone is dressing to stand out, to draw in energy, or whether they're retreating into the shadows, into quiet comfort. All of these are signals, part of the dance of interaction. And when you can read these signals, you know how to approach, how to meet them where they are, how to guide the flow to where it needs to go. And think about this, the narratives we create in our mind, they shape everything. What we believe about ourselves, about others, about the world, it shapes the reality that we live in. Every moment, every experience, we have the opportunity to rewrite the script, to change the meaning that we assign to it. Our brains create predictions based on past experiences. But what if those predictions don't have to be true? What if instead you could interrupt that flow? What if you could take that feeling that arises and ask, what else could this mean? You have the power to shape your experience, to reframe any situation. Your beliefs, they're made of cause, effect, and meaning. and you can change the meaning that you assign to any effect, any experience. This is where the real magic lies, in your ability to choose. In that moment, when the feeling arises, you can decide what to make of it. You can choose to reframe, to turn it into something positive, something empowering. And the more you practice this, the easier it gets. It's the same as martial arts, do you see? Repetition is the foundation of mastery. You practice the same movement over and over, because when you face an attack, when the unexpected happens, you're prepared. You're not just reacting, you're responding with grace, with precision, with strength. Think what it's about. You build resilience. You learn to take the hit, recover, and keep moving forward. Every time you practice, you're creating a solid foundation, one that supports you in every situation, in every interaction. You're becoming the master of your own influence, the commander of your own destiny. And as you continue on this journey, your mastery grows step by step, moment by moment. And in that process, you start to realize the vast potential that's within you, just waiting to be unleashed. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes, until one day, you'll look up and see the world it's shifted in your favour. The key, keep going, keep practicing, keep stepping into those new frames of mind. You're the architect of your own influence. And as you begin to notice the world around you, it's a vast, ever-changing landscape. And what if you could step into that landscape with the certainty of a master, knowing exactly what you needed at any moment, effortlessly shifting the energy, guiding the flow, and picture yourself walking through this space with an unshakable confidence, where every interaction becomes an opportunity to create exactly what you desire, drawing people in, shaping perceptions, creating connections. You see, there's a magic that happens when you learn to move with intention, when you step into the rhythm of the movement, guiding it without resistance. Proactivity is the key that unlocks this power. By anticipating, by moving, before the need arises, you shape the outcome. It's not about reacting to life, it's about leading life. You begin to see patterns in everything, people's behaviour, their energy, their desires. They speak to you in the language of signals, subtle cues, and as you begin to listen, to understand, you realise you've been given this ability to influence, to flow without forcing it. All you have to do is recognise the right moment, step in and create. And every time you connect with another person, your mind naturally looks for the keys to unlock deeper understanding. You become aware of how people express themselves, how their energy shifts, how their body moves. There's no mystery here. There's only an awareness, deep awareness. And when you're aware, you become like a magnet, pulling people towards you. They feel heard, understood, and naturally drawn in by the energy that you project. You start to see how effortless it can be, how natural it feels to be in tune with your surroundings, to mould your persona like clay, creating a version of yourself that's magnetic, irresistible. But how do you do it? How do you start? It's easier than you think. You don't need to force anything. The key lies in becoming the essence of the influence you desire. What would it be like to step into a powerful frame of mind, like a commander, like someone who's in charge of their own life, creating the reality that they desire effortlessly? Imagine slipping into that frame, that identity, and seeing how the world around you shifts. People respond differently when you are in your full power, when you inhabit the space of leadership and charisma. It's as though the energy bends to meet you where you are. This is where real transformation begins, when you embody the persona you create. It doesn't just influence others, it guides them, without them even realizing it. You lead them with subtlety, with grace, as they follow the energy that you set in motion. And you begin to understand everything you do, everything you say. It's an opportunity to guide, to influence. And as you get better at this, it becomes second nature. It's no longer about effort, it's about ease, about flow. You're not forcing influence, you're simply becoming the influence. Now notice this, in every interaction, you have the choice to reframe. You have the power to choose how you perceive the situation, how you respond to it. Your brain, in its wonderful wisdom, creates predictions based on what happened before. But those predictions, they're just that, predictions. They're not set in stone. When you realise you can disrupt the flow, break free from the automatic response, You open up a whole new realm of possibility. You're free to choose to shift your mindset to create a different experience. When a feeling arises, you have the ability to say, what else could this mean? By asking this simple question, you interrupt the automatic response and open yourself up to a new reality. A reality where you're the one in control, where the meaning you assign to any situation is yours to create. And as you begin to practice this, it becomes easier, more natural. You start to see the world through a new lens, one where you have the power to change the meaning of any experience, to create a reality that supports your desires. And here's the most powerful part. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment to begin. Every interaction, every encounter, it's an opportunity to practice, to refine your skills. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. Each moment is a chance for you to step into a new frame of mind, a new persona, and to watch how the world responds. Every repetition, every practice, it takes you closer to mastery. It takes you deeper into the flow of influence. You've seen how people dress, haven't you? The way they choose their clothes tells you everything you need to know about the energy that they're projecting. Bright, bold colours, they want attention. They want to be noticed. When you understand this, when you see how people are constantly sending signals with their energy, you can adjust, shift your approach, and you can begin to read people, understand them before they even speak. And this is where your power lies. It's in your ability to see beneath the surface, to read the signals and to act accordingly. But here's something even more profound. You realize everything you encounter is part of a larger narrative. The beliefs, the stories we tell ourselves, those are the threads that weave our reality. What if you could change the narrative? What if, in any moment, you had the power to rewrite the story that you're telling, to choose a new meaning, a new direction? That is where real transformation happens, in the space between belief and reality. And with every choice you make, with every new belief you adopt, you become more powerful, more influential. Now feel the weight of this. It's not just about reacting to the world around you. It's about shaping it. You can step into the rhythm of life, guide it with ease, and transform any situation, every belief, every action, every word you speak. It's like a thread in the tapestry of influence that you're creating. You're the artist, the creator, the one who has the power to shape the world in your image. Every time you practice, you sharpen your skills. You become more aware, more present. And as you become more present, you begin to see opportunities to influence, to guide, to shape the future. So, what would it be like for you to fully embrace this power, to step into it with certainty, with clarity, knowing every choice you make, every interaction you have is an opportunity to guide, to lead, to create the reality that you desire? Imagine it, feel it, breathe it in. It's already inside you, waiting to be unleashed. And as you continue, as you practice, it becomes easier. It becomes who you are. And in that moment, you realize you've already become the influence that you've been seeking. You're the change.